I was supposed to clap too, right?
No, I'm gonna edit it for you. Sorry, I haven't had
Oh,
my
okay.
coffee yet.
Dude, that is quite the contraption you got there,
Dude,
man.
you know who gave this to me?
Let me take a wild guess. J Capture?
No,
Damn.
Project Story. Irwin.
Erwin.
Dude, thanks Irwin for the ChemX, man. It's
Should we get a shout out to Erwin real quick?
yeah, dude.
Quick shout out to
Shout out
Er.
to Irwin for
Nice.
getting my morning started with this ChemX coffee.
That that's pretty fire. Let me see it one more time. Hold it up. That's quite the contraption there, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Holy smokes. So you just let it steep like that, and then when do you drink it?
So it's basically it's drip coffee, so you just gotta drip it a little bit at a time. It takes like less than 10 minutes for the whole
Cool.
setup, but yeah, man, dude, I'm excited to be doing this, dude.
Yeah, man. I appreciate having you here, Mike. I appreciate your time, bro. For real.
Dude, for
Thank
sure,
you.
man. Dude, how you been?
I've been good, dude. I this morning woke up early. Fiance made me some brekkie. You know what I mean?
Cool, cool.
Got some coffee.
Nice.
Jumped in the whip.
Nice.
Drove here from the South City. Had to get the studio all set up. Got the cameras rolling because we going high def today.
You got the
So I
the
got
plant
the-
in the background.
I got the plant in the background. Need to water it still. I'm gonna water it after this. It doesn't look that thirsty, but I will eventually water it.
Yeah. I think it's like once a
but,
week, right?
You know, I just
Or whenever
I just wait
whenever
for-
it's not damp, when it's like
I just ask it when I just have it talk to me. It usually just lets me know. It sends me
Yeah.
like a text or just like sends me like an email like, "Yo, don't forget to water me." You know what I
Yep.
mean? But anyways, Mike, I appreciate your time. I love the setup that you got here. I see you got a plant in the background too, dude.
Dude, plant,
What-
lamp. So my desk is not
Organic.
actually like this. So you can see the couch right here. So I had to kind of flip it because like if I was recording that way, all you're gonna see is a wall and a TV. I think this looks way cooler
No, that looks way
because
cooler,
you got the
man. That looks.
building in the back.
Yep.
Man, if I could just diffuse, like the videographer in me is coming out. If I could diffuse this right here, like you could really, what helps it? It's kind of diffused actually because it might look overexposed here, right? Well, not on the zoom camera, but the zoom camera actually has it nailed good. But on the Sony, it's kind of overexposed. But
It's a little blown
it
out.
does have a tinted window, so yeah. But yeah, your
Camera nerd talk.
lighting looks sick. I'm only seeing your FaceTime, your Zoom
Through Zoom.
through Zoom, but then I can't wait to see the actual podcast, like the
Oh, dude, I'm looking at me
Yeah,
right now.
probably-
I look amazing,
probably
dude.
looks
my
fire,
skin,
dude.
my skin looks great. My skin looks great.
dude. As
You
long
know,
as
I'm nice
yeah,
and moisturized. Shout out to Cetaphil.
as long as
Se-
the skin is on point, right? The
Skin's on point.
skin
Hey,
tones.
Yeah. So, Mike, let's get it rolling,
Yeah, let's
dude.
get it rolling, dude. For sure.
So, for those of you guys that don't know, I got a buddy of mine named Mike, who is our first guest on Sippin' Tea with APV season number 2.
What's up?
Mike, I want you to kind of just let everyone know that's watching this. Give them a little bit of background. Tell them who you are, where you're from, what you do. Break it down for them, man.
Yeah, my name is Mike Isip. I own and run the company Lapu Atelier. It's a photography company that I run, videography. And I'm from the Bay Area. I was born and raised in Vallejo, California, and then sort of moved to Fairfield right next door during my high school years. So I kind of grew up there too. And yeah, now I live in Hawaii.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't forget to leave.
That's the
don't
most
don't forget
important
to leave
part,
that
right?
part
yeah,
out.
I live in Hawaii now, so I just moved here a month ago. So pretty much moved my whole business out here, but I still have majority of my business is in the Bay Area still. So I mean, this is like pretty much almost starting from scratch basically. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's been a dream of mine. Glad to be here, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, like we've talked about this many times before the podcast, and it's like that's just such a huge like journey, like start to a new journey of
Mm-hmm.
yours, and like I'm excited for you. I'm pumped for you. I know that there's days where you're kind of worried, and you might, feel like maybe the move was you might have bit off more than you can chew, but it's like, dude,
Right.
like I think you got this, and I think that you're so into photography, videography, where I know that you're gonna be fine, man. Honestly.
Appreciate that, man.
But hey, let's kind of bring it back a little bit. Can you just share a little bit, more about how you got into it? Is it photography? Is it videography? Is it both? Can you kind of just share that a little bit?
So I got into, I want to say, a little bit of both. It started in like just high school, really. Just
Mm-hmm.
filming my friends skateboarding, taking photos of them,
Nice.
and yeah, like I think as I got older and everything, I've always like loved watching movies and looking at artistic photos, like creative style, and it always made me want to do that. Like looking at whether I was looking at magazines or watching movies, I've always found that entertaining, and I wanted to do that too with what I did. And as far as like professional wise, I didn't start doing that until maybe until I moved to LA. I think that's what really kind of sparked it professionally wise, like getting paid to do something for my
Mm-hmm.
work. But yeah, 2018. So I want to say like professionally wise, yeah, I've been doing this for almost 5 years now.
Damn.
But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. Just I still love it. Like my clients right now, they they could see how the passion I have. I mean, pretty sure you have a similar experience too. Without even me telling them, oh, I'm so passionate about this, they could see it, and then I say something about it, and then I say something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I actually am really. I really love this stuff. So, and I think it shows in my work too, and it makes me happy when somebody will like watch one of my videos. Because I right now I mostly did videos, or like my company, people turn to me mainly for video, and when they see my videos and they like it and they tell me they like it, even though I didn't tell them to watch it,
Mm-hmm.
that's what gets me. When they say, like, I've made friends here already in Hawaii. They'll message me and they'll say like, oh, I like your work, it's really hitting the feels and everything. And I'm like, in my head I'm like, that's like the point, that's the point I'm trying to make, is not, you don't even know these people, but you
Mm-hmm.
like the video. And that's very hard to do. Like for me as a wedding videographer, I'll watch other videos, and this is not me being biased or anything. I'll look at a wedding video and I'm like, man, this is kind of, well, this is not my style. I don't really, it's um, kind of like everything else I see. But then there's like a lot of videos out there that I'm just like, man, that's really good. Like it's like I'm watching a movie and I'm like, man, I want to be like that. I want to be better, So when I hear people say that about my work, I love it, man. That makes me want to keep going.
Yeah, man. No, and that's funny that you mentioned that because, I mean, just kind of the compliment section part of it, right? When people kind of tell us how good we're doing. I don't know about you, man, but, being like this quote unquote artist and this creative person, right? It's like I always find myself as being like my biggest critique. You know what I mean? So
Right.
what some people may see as like amazing, I always am looking for like, how did I do this wrong? Like, what could I improve on? Like, I'm always like over analyzing, the work that I did. And I feel like sometimes that could be something that like holds me back a little bit just because I am so hard on myself and like I always want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of I'm getting more to this point where like I need to remember and remind myself that like, hey, listen, like you don't always have to, it doesn't always have to be perfect. Just create it. It'll if it resonates with somebody, it'll resonate with somebody. But I feel like I totally agree with what you're saying. It means a lot to hear it, but
Hmm.
sometimes it's a little hard to hear it, right?
hard.
Do
Yeah.
you ever do you ever find it like hard? Like, I mean, people will compliment you, and I'm just like, yeah, dude, thank you. Like, I mean, it means a lot. It feels really good, but sometimes I'm like, damn, like if only he knew I wanted this to look different, or I wanted to do that a little bit better. If they only knew that I thought it was a little bit crooked. You know what I mean?
Uh, I could, me personally, I haven't really felt like that, but I could see
Okay.
why you felt like that. But you
Uh huh.
do, you, how long have you been doing this for? We're kind of a little bit
Yeah, I've
longer
been
than me, or
a lot longer. I mean,
uh,
I've been doing it for a little bit more than a decade now. So
okay. See,
you can,
I know you a
yeah.
lot longer then. See, so
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
that's why you have a lot of Yelp reviews. Like, um, but yeah, so I think once I'm on that level, or once I'm on your experience level, I think I'll experience that too. So I could
Okay.
see why,
Okay.
because I'm still, you could actually tell someone's experience based on their Yelp. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
I look at your Yelp reviews, I think it's like over 168.
It's
I
up
think I
there.
was just looking at it right now, and that's just the
Uh huh.
posted ones. You probably have
Right.
unposted ones. Like mine, I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
18 posted and like
Mm-hmm.
4 under
Like,
review. So I'm just saying,
right. I hate that
but
Yelp
then I
does
get
that.
like, I did just start that Yelp page, like last year, like maybe like five,
Mm-hmm.
6 months ago, and then a lot of my old clients were like filtering in. But then keep in mind, yes, I did start like almost 5 years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
like it took a while for me to realize, okay, I need to up the pace now because I'm trying to do this full time for a living. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's another thing I want to get into a little bit later in this podcast, but basically what I wanted to get into is, I know it's gonna take time. Like, talking to people like you, this whole business, it's kind of like, there's a lot of people. I went to film school, and we could get into that
Hey.
later too. I went to film
Yeah.
school, and even like YouTubers that I watch, like Maddie Hapoya, Peter McKinnon, um, they did wedding videos when they started, some kind of wedding
Mm-hmm.
videos or wedding photography, and then they end up moving on because what weddings is super stressful. They say if you could photograph a wedding, photograph or video a wedding, then you could pretty much film or shoot anything
Anything.
because you are
Yeah.
thrown under so much stress, and it's a one take thing. You can't do stuff over. Like most things, you can't do it over. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
first looks, walking down the aisle.
Yeah. Right.
It's
Yeah.
a one
There's
and
a lot
done
that you
thing.
gotta nail. Right.
Then you have to be really good at editing too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, like, so a lot of people that get into this, they quit. So it's time, and people, like, now I'm in that point. It's the 5 year mark. They used to have this saying in LA. LA will
What is
chew
it?
you in and spit you back out. One of our teachers said that if you're here for more than 5 years, you're probably gonna end up living here and making it. Or like, when I
Mm-hmm.
say making it, you're gonna stay here probably, and like you'll probably like it. But less than that,
Right.
then you'll probably, like, people come and go. And I lasted a year there. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't for me.
So, Mikey. So, Mike, you said you've been doing it for about like 5 years,
Yeah.
right? 5 or so years, and then you kind of shared a little bit about how you got into it. It started with like skate videos, things like that, just watching movies and kind of getting that creative side of your brain kind of going.
Right.
I'm curious, like, was there someone that you kind of looked up to? I know that you said like YouTubers and just seeing creative things online, but was there somebody that you kind of were able to make your role model, or kind of want to, have them mentor you or anything like that? Like, did you have, like, for me, I mean, I didn't mean to cut
Yeah.
you off,
No.
but for me, like, like when I first got started, it was honestly a lot of just me on my own. And I just was doing like random stuff. It was like club stuff. It was like fashion stuff.
Okay.
It was like some
Yeah.
light studio stuff. And then I met my mentor, Oscar from Red Eye Collection. He's kind of the one that kind of took me under his wing, kind of showed me like the business side of things, and that I can actually make a living doing this. So I'm curious for you, because that really helped me in
Yeah.
like the growth of my business. So like for you, was there somebody that kind of took you under their wing, or someone that you reached out to
You.
someone? Like, I'm
Yeah.
curious, like, how did you get that?
Okay. I know where you're going with this. So you already know this, but then the audience doesn't know this yet. Okay, I know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
It was Joel. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, JCap. So all right, here it is. 2020 hit. I was supposed to move to, Hawaii already, and then COVID hit, and then COVID hit, and it changed my whole perspective on things. And I wasn't even gonna really do weddings full time in Hawaii in 2020. I was just gonna get a job and do something just because I really want to move here. And then COVID happened. All flights got canceled. My plane ticket got canceled. I had a one-way ticket. I didn't even have money back then. I took out a loan, and then I ended up giving the loan back after my flight got canceled. And then just lived with my parents. My whole life just did a 180, like plans and everything. So yeah, I started delivering food with DoorDash, started doing heavy YouTube videos on like
What were you creating on? What were you making on
DoorDash
YouTube?
tips and tricks. Like I went from like
Oh,
500
really?
subscribers, jumped up to like 4,000 plus. And
Oh,
then I
wow.
was actually making money off of it. That's why I was going heavy into it when I actually saw paychecks coming
Oh,
in.
snap. Okay.
Like if you type in DoorDash tips and tricks 2020, I'll probably be like
see
the
you.
first link there.
Oh, snap.
But yeah, I had my Prius at the time, and then that's the year I got my Tesla too, and then I started doing Tesla videos, getting sponsorships and everything, and then that was bringing income too. And then I was delivering food with DoorDash, and that it was hard work, man. Like it's nice because you're on your own schedule, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's hard. But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, what am I doing, man? Like I have this like gift to create stuff, but I'm not utilizing it, right? So I'm just like, man, I gotta change something. So I think it was in 2021. I was like,
Okay.
So I did that for a year.
So
So it was 1 year of grinding
year
DoorDash,
you
and I
just
was still doing
grinded.
weddings too.
Oh, snap,
2020
okay.
I did one wedding. It was
Okay.
it was my good friends Kenny and Jordan. They live up way deep north, Redding.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I did their wedding, and that was the only wedding I did, and I was just delivering food. And then 2021 hit, and I was like, you know what? I gotta do something. And I've been watching all these like tips and tricks on how to start a wedding company and everything on YouTube. Everything's on YouTube, right? And one thing that they always say is find a mentor. And I'm like, how do I find a mentor? You could email, cold call, whatever. Dude, I only hit up one person. I saw, like, when I see someone's work, I'm like drawn to it. And not only their work, I want to see what they even look like. So I went on J Capture Studios, right? Because I'm just typing top 10 or top videographers in the Bay Area. I wasn't even looking on Instagram. I was looking on Google. And J
Nice.
Capture was one of them. And one of the reasons why I like them, they had their gear posted. It was the exact same gear. I was using freaking DR10Ls, Sony cameras, the drone. Everything was pretty much the same gear that I was using. And I'm like, okay, these guys are hecka legit. Like, and they're using the same gear I'm using. And then I watch their videos, and then I'm just like, okay, this is dope. Like, I like their style. Like, and then I saw what they look like and everything. And I'm like, man, it looks like I could really be friends with these guys. Let me try DMing them on Instagram and see what happens.
Hey, there you go. Sound like Gary V. You got like some Gary V advice.
Like this
sending
does not
DMs.
work. Like I asked Joel and Christine this. They say that people DM them all the time, and they don't respond to most of them, because who's gonna respond to that, right? So I don't know. I kind of know if I search for it, I could tell you exactly what I said. But just to summarize it, I was like, just told them on DM, and Joel and Christine are both on the Instagram, but I guess Joel was on it at the time. I was like, pretty much, I'm passionate about this. I'm looking for a mentor. because I plan to move to Hawaii, but I'm looking for someone to teach me everything to do this full time, so I could bring
Right.
this business to Hawaii and like kill it out there. And he was like, "Are you available for a phone call?" And then so that 15-minute Instagram DMing back and forth turned into a 30-minute phone call. And that phone call, in summary, was like, "Hey man," Joel was just basically like, "You know, I dig your vibe, but the wife has to approve. You have to come over, have lunch with us this weekend." Oh, this is when Joel told me, like, "Yeah, we have weddings every weekend, pretty much." And that blew my mind, because I'm used to doing like weddings like maybe
Once every few months.
once every 3-4 months, and I'm just like, wait, once a weekend? Like, dude, nah, this dude, like, it sounds like this dude is just like the YouTube video guys, like, "Yeah, I film like 80 weddings a year," or something like that. Like, they're like pretty close to that, you know? And and their weddings are like all like high luxury weddings too. And it was he was basically like saying, "Yeah, come meet the wife, and she has to approve." And so I went over there, and my parents were just like sketched out at first. They're like, "Why are you meeting a stranger or whatever?" And I'm like, "No, man, they're cool. And if I don't take this chance right now, what am I gonna do? I'm trying to be proactive, right?" This is me talking to my parents. I'm trying to be proactive with
man, I remember those
with
days.
taking this like serious. I still have that conversation with them sometimes, but not as much as before, because obviously, like, I'm here now. I'm doing something right now. I'm not living with them anymore, you know. And they pretty much see that, okay, he's really doing it, you know, full time and stuff, and he's taking this really seriously. But yeah, so I went to Joel and Christine's house, had lunch, and told them my whole life story. And my whole life story basically is like, that could be like one full podcast, really. But they just liked me. You know,
out the gate.
well, the thing is with me, when I have nothing to lose, I'm just like, I'm gonna tell you my whole life story, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, even the bad parts. And I think, I took a chance saying that. They could have been like, "Man, this guy, he's been through some stuff, man. Like, I don't think this is the right." They probably were thinking that, to be honest. Like, when they heard
Maybe they just wanted to help you out.
Yeah, probably. Like, charity case, right? Like, man, this guy's delivering food with DoorDash or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like, let's help him out, because he saw my work too. Like, so when we're DMing each other, I showed him my like work already. So he's like, "Man, your work is already good." So, and in the back of Joel's mind, I didn't know this at the time, he's looking for shooters. He's always looking for shooters, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
shout out to Joel. Shout out to Joel and Christine.
You know
man.
what? They are a big part of my lives now, and they know that too.
Yeah.
They 100% know that. They're basically family for life now, man. Because I wouldn't be here without them, 100%.
Yeah.
But
man, they're awesome, man. We work plenty of events together every year, and I mean, I love working with them.
yeah,
If you weren't like a photographer or videographer, I'm just curious, like, what else do you think you could be doing? Like, I mean, it sounds like you're like the jack of all trades, like you're very ambitious. I mean, do you think if you were to be doing something other than photography or videography, like, what do you think you'd be doing? Making YouTube, DoorDash videos, or what?
well, if I'm making videos, I'm still doing video.
Videography. Okay. Oh yeah.
Oh, are you saying like
Right.
not even touching a camera at all?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, like if you were to not touch a camera at all, like what do you see? What else do you see yourself doing? Is there like a backup plan? Is there a fallback plan? I'm just curious. Or is it just like backs against the wall?
Dude, honestly,
I gotta make it, or I gotta make it.
Man, I don't know. That's a hard question, because I love cameras. Because like, if the question was, if I wasn't doing weddings, what would I be? Would I rather be filming and stuff? Like travel videos. I sent you that New York edit. Did you watch the New York edit I made? The one I sent you.
No, you never. I never
I
saw
sent
it.
you and Benji.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I did see
So
that.
I
I
was
did see
like,
that. Fire.
I was like, dude, when you and Benji come and visit me in Hawaii, we're gonna make something like this. And that's like,
Hell yeah.
that's honestly therapy to me. Like when I make something like that, because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
man, if I wasn't doing wedding videos and like, you know, I would be doing. It's just really hard to
Doing that.
do that because it's so saturated, and you know, I need to make a living. So that's another reason why I wanted to do weddings is because I could still be creative
That creative
and
person
and,
and still
and
have a
still
job
have,
that makes money.
yes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But man, if we were living in a world where, you know, I could, hey, like Red Bull's like, you know, we're gonna pay you to go over here, just go do your thing, man. That's like
I used to work for Red Bull, by the way.
for real.
I
What'd you
did.
do for them?
When it wasn't anything crazy. So I used to go to Academy of Art in San Francisco,
Yeah.
where I was studying photography when I first got started in this whole photography world, and I was what they called an SBM, so it's called a student brand
Right.
manager. So at all of the universities here in California, they would have one SBM per university. So since I was going to Academy of Art University, it was a university, I was the student brand manager for that school. So what that means is it was my job to help infiltrate, I guess, or to bring Red Bull into the campus. So there were little like what we called like hacks, little things that I would do to bring awareness of Red Bull. I mean, Red Bull's a huge company, right? But kind of bring awareness of Red Bull to the school. So let's just say, for example, during like finals week, I would literally take Bart from San Lorenzo. I would take Bart with like a huge duffel bag full of like I don't even maybe 100 Red Bulls because they would let me stock up on it. So I would put it all in this huge like duffel bag that you see like in the movies when they rob the banks and they put all the money in like that big.
Oh, okay.
And I would have a bunch of Red Bull in there, and I would have like these little flyers. And like before I would go to school, I would put like little Velcro, double-sided Velcro on the sides. And basically what I would do is I would sneak into the classrooms on finals week. I would put this little flyer on each seat that said like. If you need wings, reach under your seat or something
Yeah.
like that. And then underneath the seat was a freaking Red Bull stuck to the bottom of the chair. So I was doing this like in like probably a couple of classrooms every time I would go to the city. And I would also do things, that was fun. I would also do things where I would like bring like the wings team, which was like all the women that work for Red Bull. They would come to the school and I would like, I would help organize an event and bring like us Red Bull sponsorship to the school. So I would meet with like the people that were in charge of like the radio station. I think it was called like the Knights. I think it was like Knights radio station or something like that. And basically I would like, cause I would DJ at the time.
Oh yeah,
And I don't know if I told you, but I have
you did. Yeah, you DJ.
So I got like a DJ background. So I would pull up to the little after school event. The Red Bull people would drop off like a clean ass DJ setup already for me, and with all the branding on it, they got the Red Bull like little like bins that are like filled with ice, and then they got the girls with the wings on with the backpack
Nice.
passing them out. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and yeah, so I did. I just wanted to say I did work for Red Bull at a
No,
time.
that's cool,
But,
man. That's like something you're always gonna have like once in those are like the once in a
Bro.
lifetime things that you're gonna be like,
Bro,
okay, well,
I'm gonna remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna remember that for sure. What was your first job, bro? Do you remember your first job? What was it? I'm curious where you got your start, because mine was crazy.
um, it was when I was living in LA in 2018. I was working with this company.
Like first job, like ever.
Oh, first job, not gig
Like
wise.
first job, not gig wise. Like mine was working at Lid's hat store,
Oh,
bro. I don't
mine-
know if you know what Lid's
yeah.
is.
Yeah, I do know Lids. Yeah, it's at the malls. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's way cooler than my first job. My first job was
Let me hear it.
holding the signs for houses.
No
Yeah,
way.
I was getting
No.
like, dude, I was like 16 years old, and I was making.
I was gonna say,
I was
I was-
making $14 an hour. Oh no, I think it was 11, and that's a lot at
Yeah.
the time. $11 an hour.
Yeah, that was a
Back
lot. I think
then?
mine started off at like $9 an hour. Was my first job, or it's like $8 or $9 excuse me, an hour. Dude, I thought for some reason, I don't know, you had this look in your eye. I thought you were gonna say like you were the guy at Hot Dog on a Stick making the lemonade, crushing the
Dude, that's
lemons
like
like this.
that's pretty much almost the same thing. Holding the sign, man.
With the hat, you had the red and yellow
No,
hat.
I didn't have the hat, but when
Nah, I know.
it's
I'm just
it's a
kidding.
rain
I'm
or
kidding.
shine job, so they gave us those raincoats.
So tell me, did you do the tricks? Cause I be seeing the guys doing tricks.
No. I
Are you just hitting this?
Yeah, I mean, when I was bored, I
Oh,
would try to
dude.
practice the tricks and stuff, but yeah,
For real?
yeah, dude, and
All right.
yeah, it's
You
crazy.
were out there, you were out there spinning it and catching it behind your back. Mm-hmm. Dude, I love watching those guys. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty talented, bro.
Yeah, man, it's like, dude, they could be using those talents for like those those those. It reminds me of those military percussion, or
Oh yeah, when
when they do
they got
when
the
they
gun,
got the rifle
like,
and then they're
like
just
the
flipping
rifle.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that's called, but those guys are G for
Yeah.
sure. And when it comes to your videography style, right? Like when you're shooting either a wedding or you're shooting like a private event or a corporate event or just you're shooting in general, is there like a style that you have? Like how would you describe it? You know what I mean? Like is there a certain way that you want to kind of document it, or is it just like run and gun, just capture everything?
For
Like if you're shooting something,
Yeah.
is there like a, does it depend on what it is? I'm just curious.
yeah,
Like
it
do
just
you have like
depends
a
what it
certain
is. It
style?
depends what it is
Okay.
and what the client wants. But
Okay.
pretty much now my style. Before it was just like I'm basically just doing whatever, and then I'll go into post later and see what I got.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of pretty much I need to talk with the client, see what they're looking for, and then I go on that. If they're just like,
For
if
sure.
the clients doesn't know what
Shoot
they
it.
want, then I'm just gonna be super like, okay, I'm gonna come up with a plan on my own. But the plan on my own is basically always worst case scenario. You got to get your creative shots, and then you got to get coverage of everything, just in case.
Right.
So
The safe shots, yeah. Or like the
So,
backup shots, yeah.
And that's one thing I learned from Joel and Christine is always get your safe shots, because even though the client doesn't want it, you have it, and then guess what? Now you have something you could offer them even more later on if they didn't even want that. Like you could offer them an extra thing that they might want, because the edit that you give them might be too short, so they want something else like a full coverage sort of thing, and that's something you could add to your costs, and and you can make more money now because you filmed that coverage instead of saying, oh, I don't,
Yeah.
they didn't pay for this anyways, I'm not going to do it. I mean, you're already there, just do it if you have the time.
Yeah. Right.
But every
right,
situation
right.
is different. But yeah, that's pretty much my style.
For
just
sure.
getting all the coverage and everything.
Covering it
Yeah.
all. Yeah, I was asked that similar question when I did a podcast too, and like, I don't know, like I always try to think of like the perfect answer for that, and I realized for me personally that it was just like my style is just like have fun and capture everything and just make sure that the experience is there. Like
Right.
if you want to ask me what my style is have a fun ass experience. That's what my style is. You know what I mean? Like I always explain to my couples, especially since I do photography. I don't know if it's different for video, but for me it's like, man, everybody can take nice photos. Cameras are good. You give a camera and you put it on some like
That's
auto
what I say
settings
for video
and you give it
too.
to someone.
Yep.
It's gonna be an amazing photo.
Yeah.
Like nonetheless, like I just have since I've been doing it, I kind of know like better angles or better cues or prompts to get
Yeah.
like those candid, natural emotions in a picture or in a photo,
Yeah.
right? So, so I always, yeah, I know, I didn't mean to kind of trick you with that question, but I just wanted to see if you had an answer. But when I was asked that, I was like, dude, like honestly, my style is just have hella fun, like, and make sure they have a great experience. So that's my style. So it seems like we're kind of on the same page.
Okay, yeah, now that I know the question, yeah, exactly. Like it was it's pretty much like that. Like that's my style too.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's a lot of people's style though, for the most part. But I have worked with photographers and other videographers that are just super cringe. That are just like, cool. If you want to run your business like that, there's people that run their business like that and they make a lot of money. But
Yeah, kudos to
but
them,
guess
man.
what? You take away the wedding aspect or you take away me doing photography or videography, and I'm a human being. Like if I was like all my clients, well, I don't want to say all, but like most of my clients, I still talk to all of them because they're like
Right.
homies now. They're like friends.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like I want to say like, mostly all of them, man. And that's how I like to do it, because if I think of you as a friend, I'm gonna really care more about the end product. I'm not gonna think of it
Yeah.
like, oh, you paid me this
A
much.
job.
I
Yeah.
gave you a big discount, so I'm not gonna this guy paid me this much and you paid me this much. I'm gonna just rush your stuff because you didn't pay me
Yeah.
my rate. No, every job I go into, I give it my best because of them, as I see them as a friend, and I want to do my best. And I don't even think of it like, oh, it's for my portfolio all the time. I don't even think about that. I just think of it like as in the moment, and then like, okay, this will look good for my portfolio at the end of the day. But then, yeah, when I edit, I really try to show my personality in that edit, even though if the stories
Hell
are
yeah.
about other people. Like in the back of my mind, my goal is to just let someone watch it and be like, oh yeah, that's Mike's edit. I could see Mike's style.
Right.
Even like, okay, like JCap, Joel and Christine, I wanted to like take my style and one time I really tried to copy their style. Every single thing. One of my wedding videos, I really copied every single one of their things just to see if I could do it by myself. And it was so much like J Capture that I was like, okay, I could kind of do it. Now let me just dial that back because it's I don't want to like completely rip off their style. Now it's like I'm putting my own style back into it. But if you still look at it, it's like really, you could tell like, okay, Mike did this edit. Even like the coloring, like I could tell like with the coloring, that's Mike's edit. Or the music, oh, I could tell that's Mike's edit.
Mike, 5 things that you can't leave for a shoot without. 5 things. Say you're on your way. You got your bag loaded up. You're on your way to the beach because now you live in Hawaii. You get to go to the beach every day, or to the jungle, wherever, for forest, wherever you want to go. 5 things. Go.
My phone, because at the end of the
Oh, yeah.
day, my phone is a good camera. Phones in everybody has an iPhone now, right? Or like a good
Yeah.
phone with a phone with a good camera. So my phone is probably the top one.
Got
The
it.
second one, I'm getting into film now, so I would bring my point and shoot, my Olympus MG2. It's a 2.8
Nice.
aperture,
Nice.
35 millimeter fixed lens. So I've been getting into that. So I'll bring that because it's super light and it's just you take a photo and you can't even see it.
You just take it and put it away, and
you
you see how it looks
exactly.
later. The beauty of film.
And then the third, fourth, and fifth is just like my gear. So I'll bring my Sony A7 IV before I bring my A7S III, because the A7 IV has more megapixels, and the A7S III is mainly just for like video stuff, like because it's only 12 megapixels. So I rather have those megapixels for shoots. And so I'll bring the A7 IV, and then my go-to lens is the 24-70. I have fixed aperture lens, fixed prime lenses, but honestly, for like photo shoots, quick photo shoots and stuff like that, or just like even just hanging out and stuff, and I wanted to bring my mirrorless, it'd be the A7 IV with the 24-70. So the 24-70, that would be the fourth thing, and the fifth one would have to be memory cards. I don't know. That's lame.
Memory cards.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. No, that works. What? How do you? I mean, okay, you got your gear, you got your stuff, you got your 5 items. You're on your way to a shoot. How do you prepare for a shoot? Are you in the car? Is there a certain
So
playlist? Is there a certain
you
song? You got the eight. You got the AC on? Are you going
well even
heater?
going
Are
back
you going?
even
Are you going windows down?
yeah, well if you want to into it even like more backtrack, I make sure to tell the client, send me any photos you see, and then I load those photos by taking a picture of it with my camera, so I have it
Yeah,
loaded on the memory card.
gotcha.
So I know what vibes to go for already. And then when I'm driving there, I throw on some
Let's hear it. This is what I'm waiting
Petite Biscuit or Odessa.
for. Okay, okay.
Um,
Petite Biscuit. I don't even know what. Is that a
yeah,
band? Is that a? Okay, I'm gonna
yeah.
have to slap some of that.
Petit Biscuit. And then do you know who Odessa is?
Oh, I know who
So
Odessa
they're like
is. Yeah,
Odessa, basically.
yeah. Okay, it's kind of like up
It's
tempo,
like yeah,
fun,
travel style.
festival
Yes, yep.
music.
So that
Yeah,
I mean, I always
yeah.
listen to that kind of music too. Anyways,
I mean, you live in Hawaii. Are you going windows down? Are you going windows up? Are you going? I know you got the Tesla, so there's no
yeah.
sunroof.
So I go
So are
I
you
go windows down. Windows
windows
down,
down?
especially
Are-
like it's even like when it's like kind of sprinkling and raining. I'll go windows down
Yeah,
because it's sunny at the same time, and then you can see like rainbows and stuff. That happens all the time
bro.
here.
I've been driving sunroof open when it sprinkles out here lately, just because I don't know I'm weird like that and it feels good. So I promise
Yeah.
it's I don't know if it's good for the car, but
No,
who cares,
yeah,
dude? I don't
probably
really
not.
care.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
dude,
it's
I
all
used to
good.
be so like, oh man, I got to keep my car hecka clean and everything. But man, this is like Hawaii, and I'm just like using it as a
Yeah,
car now. Just like whatever, it's dirty, it's dirty.
Mike, what's the funniest thing you've ever seen or that's happened to you at a shoot?
So I was shooting for a friend. The funniest thing I've ever seen on a shoot, I was shooting for a friend. I'm not gonna say his
Okay.
name. And I was shooting for him, and then I was the primary shooter, so he wasn't even there. And then he hired somebody off of Facebook. It was super last minute. He hired somebody off of Facebook to be the photographer. First, he asked me, like, do you know any photographers? I started asking everybody I knew. Um, and nobody was available because it was so last minute. And I don't think I asked you, though, because I didn't even want to bother asking you because you're so busy. But I asked Benji. Benji was one of them. Erwin, I asked him. I asked a few other people. No one was available. It was like literally like 3 days before. So it was a no-go because it's so last minute. So he found somebody off Facebook that barely spoke
Right.
English. And it was like an
Ah.
old lady. It was like, this lady was like 50 plus years old. Not saying that's old or anything, but I mean, she was like not fit to do a wedding because she would have to like sit down, take breaks, barely spoke English. And that's nothing wrong with that, but for a wedding that people need to understand you, you know, English,
Yeah.
especially English is the primary language. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Kind
I
of
mean, like
helps.
I had to tell her, I'm like, hey, you got to give them a countdown, like 3, 2, 1, smile, boom. She would just literally be like, that was
hold on.
the funny. It was funny slash cringe. She would just be like this.
So
I'm like, hey, you have to
so
give them a countdown. And even the bride and groom and the bridesmaids, they were like, is she gonna give us a countdown or what does she want us to do? Like it was so
right.
funny and cringe at the same time. And on top of that,
So you got a lady that's
the champagne,
Can't
dude, the
even get over
champagne
this.
wall. She started pounding these champagne drinks.
no,
Yeah,
no,
dude, I'm not even lying.
no.
I even took a picture of it and or you better edit that out. I even took a picture of her drinking champagne and sent it to my friend that I was shooting for, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, dude!" And I'm like, "Man, she's getting drunk, dude." And dude, she stepped on the bride's dress and ripped it. Dude,
Oh my
when we were
God,
eating
dude. So
when we were
basically-
eating our food, our vendor meal, she threw up in the bush. Or no, she didn't throw up in the bush. She spit in the bush because she was like getting tipsy, and then she threw up in the bathroom because one of the
What?
bridesmaids saw her throwing up in the bathroom.
So you guys are just hiring
No,
whoever.
no.
That's what it sounds like.
My friend was desperate, and he trust me, he learned his lesson because oh yeah, so they had like a fireworks show, a
Holy shit.
surprise fireworks, and she wasn't there to capture it.
I'm not sure if that's funny or if that just makes me shake my head the
Yeah,
whole time. But
I
that is
mean
pretty
it's
wild,
wild
dude.
and funny, but that's the only thing I could really think of, because I mean, yeah, that it's just I guess it can count
Well,
for it can count
thanks
for
for
a
sharing.
funny and most horrible thing I've seen.
Yeah, that is. I
Yeah,
mean,
the clients were
Jesus, that
so
is
pissed, by the way.
so.
I felt sorry
So
for
we
my
got
friend.
a
Like, my
lady.
friend was like, hey, man, what do I do? What do I do in this situation? I was like, dude,
Uh,
whatever you do, don't give them, like, any reason to give you a bad review. Just try to make it work.
yeah.
But yeah, that's that.
Well, let me get her contact info because I'm actually looking for some assistance as well. So she fits the criteria. Someone that needs to take a break every
No,
5 minutes and pounds the champagne on the
don't.
champagne wall. My question, running our own businesses, you moving to a completely new place, starting from scratch. Tell me, what is the hardest part about running your business? What has been the hardest part about running your
Right now,
business?
it's just starting from scratch, so it's just trying to find clients. That's the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I have my Yelp ads going, but it's kind of just
Good.
frustrating when you're
Excuse me.
spending like $240. I'm right now. Like last month, I spent like
Oh,
yeah,
you're
So I
paying Yelp
spent
ads
for
right now.
January. I spent $500 on Yelp ads, but I only booked 2 gigs from it. One for 350, and then they ended up tipping me a little bit more, so I made 400 off that, and then another gig that I got hired for 550. Now keep in mind I booked it in January for February jobs, so I'm counting that the February jobs that I booked in January to offset the Yelp. So I want to say about $950 in sales minus the 500 ads, so I came out 450 on that. So that's kind of like frustrating to me, but at the same time I know it takes time. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
And that's the thing with this business. Like, people see it as like super stressful, and like they're like, why am I even doing this? I'm just gonna quit and do something else because I don't even really like this, and I'm like, it's not working out, and they end up quitting. That's good. I want those people to quit. I want people, if you're not really into this, just quit, so there's more room for people like me, for people like you to actually do it, the people that actually care. But that's the hardest thing right now. I'm at that point where it's just like, you know it could be frustrating at some times. Especially, I put it more pressure on myself now. I live on my own. I have rent to pay for now, and this apartment especially is like a luxury apartment. I did that on purpose to put the pressure on myself. Like, hey, you might not, have a lot of money to save and stuff. I know I'm getting a little personal on this. You might not have a lot of money to save up or whatever, but you're at the point where, hey, you're gonna be hungry now because you don't want to be put on the street anymore. So sign your life away for a year, and you have to be pressured for a year to go out there and kill it. So I did it as a game to myself, like, like,
No,
okay,
yeah.
dude, here you go. Here you have this to pay for now, or else you're gonna mess up your credit or whatever. Like, there's no other option than just to hustle and grind. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I told this to you already, but I'll say it on this podcast. I'm talking to a wedding planner out here that I'm working with this month here in Hawaii. I literally said, like, hey, I am so hungry to build my portfolio. I am willing to work with everybody's budget. I'm willing to beat everybody's prices here on the island. If I'm available, I'll do it. And I will do the best job that I could possibly do. Not
Right.
based on the price. It's just based on giving me the opportunity to work and show you how motivated I am. And she was digging that. And I haven't met her in person yet, but I'm going to meet her in like 3 weeks. I have a wedding out here. My first wedding in Hawaii.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. Good for you,
Thanks,
man.
man.
I appreciate you sharing that, man. I mean, I feel like there's going to be somebody that listens to this or watches this that's going to be in that same place where, maybe they didn't already have the same background as you. Maybe they weren't established in one place and then wanted to challenge themselves and move to a new location. Maybe they're just starting out now, kind of like where
Mm-hmm.
you're at, when after you made your move. So like I appreciate you sharing like some of your struggles and like some of the things that you're kind of putting yourself through to kind of help keep you dialed and keep you like motivated. And I love to see the ambition, man, and I love to see you trying, because it could be hard, dude. Like I'm telling you, like owning your own business is one of the best and most difficult things that you can ever do. For me, it's like it's the schedule, it's the flexibility of the doing whatever I want whenever
Right.
I want. That's why I do what I do personally. But I mean, I love to hear your story. I love to watch your journey, man, and I'm excited to see kind of what you make of it, man.
Dude,
Honestly,
appreciate it.
I want to ask. Yeah, of course, dude. I want to ask, like, for me, like, AI is becoming a thing, and in the technological world, where it's kind of making my job a little bit easier. It's not taking my photos for me, but there are some editing software, some things that do help my make my business kind of continue to get better and
Mm-hmm.
stronger. So I'm curious, is there anything that you use that makes your life a little bit easier as a videographer?
Um,
Not there yet.
mm, Not, I mean, dude, my editing is super simple. It's not
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
like before, but I'm pretty sure there's like faster editing techniques for like transitions and stuff. I don't use any like,
Sure.
and I got this from J Capture too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I learned that if you don't use fancy transitions are so cool though, right? I used to do it all the time, and I used to
Right.
take my time on it. But the things is, they fade, right? Like I think it's on J Capture's website. Like transitions, fancy effects, those get out of style. But what will never go out of style is just a super clean edit. So
I see that sometimes. I mean, I've
I mean,
dabbled like in video like a
dude, I
long time
still
ago.
like dabble with like some like like no, not
Transitions and things.
transitions in it. I do like sometimes I do like a vintage film look, and
Sure.
you know,
Like a
yeah,
like a Super
like a
8 kind
Super
of
8
vibe?
vibe. I do
Oh,
like
really?
that sometimes, but it just depends. For me, I really have to feel it in that moment. Like I'm using it for. We learned this in film school. Use things with a purpose. Like, why are you doing that? So when I do something like I want to do an 8 millimeter film style, like it's because I was feeling it. That's the most appropriate thing to do, in my opinion. It's like an artistic approach. So, I mean, it's a gamble, because some clients were like, why did you put that on my film? Because I didn't pay for that. Like, and then I've never had that happen to me before. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Because I know how to read a couple too. And when I have a couple that's like, hey man, just do your thing, that gives me like, okay, in the back of my mind, like, okay, I
I
have the
love hearing
potential
that.
to do 8 millimeter here because they said do my thing. But I could tell, like,
Right.
if they're like really a certain couple that I could read their vibes to where like, okay, I'm not gonna do that at all. You know.
No, man, when I hear a client kind of I'm getting to that point now where I'm at with my business, where people are becoming familiar with my brand. People are becoming familiar with me, with
Mm-hmm.
Adam, right? And the work that I produce. And you know, when they find me, whether it's through social media, through referral, through a preferred venue, when they find me, they kind of see my work through my social media, through my
Right.
website, and they reach out to me, and and the thing that I love to hear them say is like, "We love your work. We want to know what it takes to work with you. Can we set up a call?" Right? Like when I hear those words, I'm just like, "Man, this is like it's a beautiful thing," and I'm trying to never take it for granted, because I absolutely love what I do. And when I have those clients reach out to me, it's just like, man, I remember the days when people would just hire me because I have a camera and I could take a picture and I could push
Right.
the button. They didn't care who it was. They didn't care that it was me. But the fact that people are like, specifically wanting me, like, man, it's such a
Yeah,
good feeling,
it
bro.
is.
Honestly, I love
It
that.
is. It makes you think like, okay, cool. Like these people. Like, I
I'm
actually,
doing something
dude.
right.
I tell them, I'm like, dude, thank you for taking the time to look at my
Mm-hmm.
work.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to film, or I would love to film your wedding, or assist you with whatever they were hiring me to do. I would love to assist
Mm-hmm.
you. But I always
Yeah.
say, if they say something about my work, hey, thank you for taking the time to look at my work. So
Right. So Mike, you're 5 years in, right? You're about five
yeah,
years in and some change. Question:
what's up?
if you could give a piece of advice to yourself when you were just starting out, so 5+ years ago, if you can give yourself one piece of advice, what would you go
I
with,
would
man?
say find a mentor. Find a
Mm,
mentor,
exactly what you did. Mm-hmm.
but like when I say that, try to find a mentor that you don't even have to pay, in a sense where not out of pocket. Because a lot of people like, how much did you pay Joel and Christine? But what I paid for is I took a pay cut pretty much. I wasn't getting paid as much as the other
Mm,
guys. At least I don't think so.
mm,
But I didn't even care. I never really asked Joel and Christine like, hey, can I get a little bit more money? Because I already told them out the gate like, hey, I'm in it for the knowledge. Knowledge. Knowledge.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see these books in
Knowledge
my
is power.
garage? You see this Ferrari? Knowledge. No. But I was in it for the learning experience. That was way more valuable to me than the money that they're giving me to second shoot with them or
Right.
whatever. I never
Yeah.
questioned the money.
Nah, man.
And
Mm-hmm.
one thing they probably liked about me is I always was saying yes. So that's another tip. Like find a like
They told me
yeah,
about that. I mean, they told me about that
yeah.
about you, that you were always
Yeah,
saying
because
yes, and
I was
I
hungry to
mean, dude,
learn, and I was just
you have to.
what's that called? So yeah, I would just be like find a like if I could go back to the beginning, find a mentor, and then also don't care about the gear that you have. Seriously,
Mm,
you could start off a wedding photography company with like less than $500. A photography company, like you literally can. You buy a used body and a used 24 to
great.
70, like a Canon
Mm,
5D Mark One,
mm-hmm.
probably 300
Mm.
bucks.
You actually could. You
Yeah,
actually could.
dude.
You actually
You
could. That
or
camera is not 300
well
bucks
or
anymore. I
well
looked on eBay.
hold on. You just do it with less than 500 bucks. You're gonna rent gear, right? So
Sure. I mean,
there's
there's
plenty of
plenty of ways
ways
you
you
can
could
do
do
it,
it.
but
Like honestly, don't care about the gear. That's what I would tell myself. Don't worry about what's the latest thing, because guess what? It's all in like how you shoot and like how do you like you always hear in videos. It's how you use your gear. It's because it
mm-hmm.
really is, and how you edit the photos, your style, and that's
Right.
how you use your gear. And to get more into it,
Right.
it's how you
I mean,
pose the couple,
let's
how
not
you edit,
let's
everything like that.
right. Let's not confuse these people though that are out there with a $500 budget that think they're gonna start the
No,
biggest
no,
wedding
no,
photography
no,
business.
no. But you
Tomorrow.
do your first
I
wedding for
think
like you do your
sure,
yeah, a
couple
couple
hundred
hundred or
bucks.
even free, and then you use
Right.
all the
Been there.
experience that and then you pretend that you're
Uh-huh.
getting paid like $2,500 or $3,000,
Mm.
and it'll show in your work. You get better and better and better, and then you know, yeah, that's what I would tell
Yeah.
myself. Don't worry about the gear and find a mentor.
Don't worry about the gear and
That's the
find a
most
mentor.
important things.
Hell yeah.
And then you're golden.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then I probably would have been, way more, like, way more like you could base somebody off of really Yelp. Like, how long have they been doing it? So, dude, you have
You
like
good. I mean,
100.
I don't really get that. I don't really get that many inquiries, honestly,
No,
through
but
Yelp. I
but
do,
like
but
people see
it's
it though.
I use it as like a yeah, I use it as like an accountability
Yeah.
thing, right? It's like somebody reaches out to me, and like I can kind of see they're on the fence, which to me is kind of a flag that maybe they're an ideal client or maybe they're not my ideal client. But what I'll do is I'll just be like, hey, look, take a look at this, see what people have said. Don't take my word for it, because obviously I'm gonna sit here and I could sell water to to the ocean, bruh. Pretty much, you know what I mean? I could sell peanuts to an elephant. You know what I mean? I'm a sales guy, but at the same time, it's like I have nothing to prove to you.
Yeah.
You know, there's a budget and there's a photographer for everybody. So if you like me, you like me. If you like my work, you like my work. But don't take my word for it. See what these 150 plus people have said about me. Bang.
That's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, Mike. I know we've been chatting for a minute
Yeah,
here.
we hit that
We're
1
coming
hour
around
mark.
pretty. Yeah, we hit that 1 hour. I wanted to just wrap it up with one
Yeah.
more question, man. First of all, I just want to say thank you for your time. But the last question that I wanted to ask you is, you know, where do you want to take your business next? You're in Hawaii. You're starting from ground zero. You're hustling. You got the luxury, a condo slash apartment. You know what I mean? You're grinding. You got the clean ass Tesla. Like, what's next, bro? What do you want to take your business next? Tell me. Break it down.
Dude, honestly, I just want to survive right now. That's basically, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I
Yeah,
just
tell me.
want to get as much clients right now as I possibly can. And to be more specific on that, I have 8 weddings booked right now. I told that wedding coordinator that I'm about to meet, that I told you about, I said, my goal is to book 30 plus weddings. So you being a coordinator, you could help me get to that number. That's the way. So if I could do 30 plus weddings, I look at that as 30 plus more Yelp reviews, 30 plus more times like I get to be like, it's like filming weddings, photographing weddings. It's like going to the gym. If you don't do a lot, you're gonna get fat. You're not gonna look good. If you don't do a lot of weddings, you're not gonna be good at it. You have to do, you have to put in the reps.
Yeah.
To get good, you know. And that, like,
Yes,
that's even
sir.
like with
Yes,
like little
sir.
photo shoots, like family photo shoots, maternity shoots. If you're not
Engagement shoots,
if you're not like,
couples,
that's why
yeah.
like I post. I didn't really post a reel or anything because I don't have time to think about posting a reel right now. My thing is I have to look for clients because I'm trying to like survive right now, and I'm trying to like grow my portfolio. I'm in a different situation than you because you're pretty much established already. You know, that's the goal, right? It's to have those gigs lined up. Like,
Thank you.
for me, I do have a lot of gigs, but I just want more. Like, I don't want to be sitting around and doing nothing. Like, it's very like I love surfing. I haven't surfed once since I got here. One, because I don't have my boards here yet, and I don't want to rent a board. Yeah, it's like $10 or $15 to rent a board, but hey, that's
You on a
$15
budget.
I could
Hey,
save.
you on a budget.
You know, or
You're on
know,
a budget,
like,
boy.
It's on a budget. You know, I'll still go out with some friends and stuff, get some food or whatever. But I'm still on a budget. I cook my own food and everything. But yeah, like, I'm shipping my board. I'm going back to the Bay Area in a couple of weeks to do a wedding. I'm bringing my boards back here. Then on days off, I could go surf and everything. But yeah, that's the little things. Like, I'm just trying to work and get clients. So the
yeah.
original, sorry, I'm ranting, but the original question is like, what do I want to take my business to the next level? Is I just want the next level here, since I'm starting from scratch basically here in Hawaii, is get more established here. Not like people from the Bay Area, you know, saying, hey, can you do our wedding? Because I still have people inquiring from the Bay Area, and I'm gonna help them out because, I mean, I don't have anything else to do during that.
It's like a white belt in jiu-jitsu. It's like somebody that just started out in jiu-jitsu. Your main goal right now is just to survive.
It's just to survive, dude.
You don't gotta submit
You know,
anybody. You
but
don't gotta
like,
get
you know,
any done.
when I hit
You
that
just gotta
10-year,
survive.
that decade mark, like you, I'm gonna be laughing at something like this, or not laughing, but like, you know, if we're still doing podcasts 5 years from now, you know.
I'm gonna play this at your 10-year anniversary party in your mansion in Hawaii next to Bretman Rock.
Dude, Bretman Rock. I mean, I was even thinking about, did he get married yet? Like, because if he got married, like, that'd be sick if I
don't
did
know.
Yeah.
If you did it.
That'd be cool, right?
Mike, thank you for your time, bruh. I appreciate you, dude. If anybody is going to Hawaii, if anybody needs a videographer, a photographer, you need some family photos, maternity, if you need pictures or you need a video, look no further. Hit up my boy Mike Isip. Season 2, Sipping Tea with APV,
Hey.
first guest. Mike, I appreciate you, my brother. Have a blessed rest of your day. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you answering my questions, sharing all of this intel and your story with
Dude,
everyone that's gonna listen to this
I'm
and
glad to
watch
be here,
this.
man. Dude, thanks for giving me the opportunity to just be on episode 1. Dude,
Of course, brother.
guys, Adam is the man.
I love you, bro. Thank you, Mike. Have a blessed rest of your week, man. Enjoy the rest of that coffee. Don't forget to drink some water today, because I've been seeing you. All you've been drinking is that coffee. So drink some
I
water
will.
today. Take care. Take care of yourself, man. I love you, bro. Have a
Will
good rest
do.
of your day.
Peace.